Okay, yes, you all know, I'm not a fan of Monday mornings. And this particular Monday morning, I'm definitely not a fan of this one. My name is Wally Scott. Welcome on the show, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. I've got Mukhail Tinubu on the show with me. Good morning, Mukhail. I'm going to have Sayo, Oguntoye on the show with me later via call. I have Sayo on the show already. Sayo, good morning.
Good morning to you, Wally Scott.
Welcome on the show.
Thank you very much.
Now, the Super Eagles coach Gernot Rohr has ruled defender William Troost-Ekong and Jamilu Collins out of the second friendly match against Cameroon on Tuesday. Rohr confirmed that both players picked up injuries in the Eagles' 1-0 loss to the Indomitable Lions at the Stadium Vienna New Start, Vienna, Austria on Friday. Speaking after the game, Rohr said the injury might force him to use a three-man defense for the second game of the doubleheader against Cameroon. Rohr, who lamented the inability of his team to find the net, said it was a good game to test his squad before the 2022 World Cup qualifiers in September. Now, Sayo, these friendlies are actually an assessment of getting good FIFA rankings. Our players, most of them claimed not to be too busy. They couldn't make it, they couldn't come. So we're actually fielding a shabby team against the Indomitable Lions, and we get a 1-0 loss against them. And then we don't have our captain, Troost-Ekong, against Cameroon in the second header.
Yes, it's pretty difficult at this stage, knowing that Gernot Rohr has mapped out his plans for the double-header tie against Cameroon. And those plans did not really favor him because Cameroon defeated Nigeria 1-0. And some of these players, don't forget that fatigue has set in. And I must say this too, Nigeria have a lot of regular starters than Cameroon has. You know, I think Cameroon's biggest player so far is Choupo-Moting, who has so far been on the bench for Bayern Munich. So the likes of Osimhen, who has been missing, the likes of Joe Aribo, who, you know, the list is endless. These guys are played in, week out for their club. So it's really difficult. But I feel this is where players who you just newly invited into the Super Eagles should be able to, you know, play not using the regulars. You know, it's and that's why you actually bring out friendly matches to test these new players, which I think he failed to do. I don't really agree with the fact that he used the top or big guns and was still not able to get the results.
Now, Mukhail, let me put you on the hot seat now. And the hot seat is that most guys on the street, word in the pub, in the bars, is that Nigerians tend to attach more importance to their clubs than to national call-ups. And that is because every club is going to the market this season. And most people want to get improve on their contracts, want to get new clubs, and of course that has taken, so national team, Super Eagles has taken back seats for them. They want to get good clubs, and that's why most of them are missing from these friendlies.
You know, it goes to, I was watching your show on Saturday, and it goes to that topic you raised, which was a lot of African players, and particularly Nigerian players, are going in to play at older ages compared to the contemporaries from other nations that they claim to be with. So when a 28-year-old is claiming to be a 21-year-old and his career isn't going to last as long, every opportunity to gain a better contract is more paramount than representing your nation, because after all, a lot of these players didn't become club properties because they went through a rigorous academy in Nigeria that vetted them, that improved their abilities and made them available for these clubs to come purchase. So, of course, they hold less loyalties to the national team colors, because at the end of the day, football for them is a way to escape poverty.
Let me come to you, Sayo, on this one. N'Golo Kante, after winning the Champions League, was asked the question, what next? And he said, I can't think about anything now. I'm off to France for the Euros. He is looking ahead. He's looking at his national team. But in Nigeria here, you hear Nigerian players saying, I no go die for field for you now. And that's the truth. That's the sad truth.
Yes, it's a generational thing. I don't think it started just now. It has been in since inception. I want to say, at least from the JJ Okocha's era, where players tend to play carefully for the Super Eagles, and then they go to their clubs, and then they play massively well. You know, it's something that we need to look into. These players, is it that the hunger is no longer there? If the hunger is no longer there, why don't you use those who have the hunger yet in them, burning in their hearts, to don the jersey of the Super Eagles? Because if you actually look at it, there was no reason why we should have lost against Cameroon. We played better, but you know, I think that extra desire wasn't just there for the Super Eagles.
Okay, Mukhail, the structures obviously must be worked upon. If you lie about your age, you can't fool nature, it will come back at you. And now Nigerians are showing the world that, listen, if you guys don't take care of us, we won't take care of you guys.
It's an institutional problem. It's not just players who are failing the country. It's the institutions that are failing the country. First of all, if you go out there and create a system that works, that grabs the most talented youth players at grassroots before they've been corrupted, if you train them, build them up, if you put them into clubs that offer them an avenue for growth and also a stepping stone to do better and move to even more profitable clubs, by the time these players come back, because after all, it's when you represent your country, very few avenues, very few sectors can you truly represent your country.
True.
You have the army, you have the military, you have football, sports, and those are the only areas where you can feel like you're carrying your nation on your back. And if your nation doesn't push you, after all, the American President Kennedy said, don't ask what your nation can do for you. Ask
can you do
for your nation.
Yeah.
But first of all, your nation must make it clear that the infrastructures are there for you to succeed. Then you will go out there feeling like I have a reason to be patriotic.
When I read this morning, it actually stunned me. Maybe it will stun you guys too out there. Now, England manager Gareth Southgate says that he sadly expected to hear boos when his side took a knee ahead of their international friendly against Romania on Sunday. A makeshift England side won 1-0 in their final Euro 2020 warm-up game, with Marcus Rashford converting a 68th minute penalty.
Well, I think I sadly sort of expected what happened to happen, and we have accepted that as a group. It's not going to stop what we're doing and what we believe, and it's certainly not going to stop my support for our players and our staff. So that's it. We're going to have to live with that. But you're right. You know, we've said what we're going to say now, and of course, you're right to ask the question today. But moving forward, it's pointless me going into any further detail on it.
Now, Sayo, the English national team, they call them the Three Lions, actually took the knee. And in Romania, and of course, they were boos because they took the knee. And the coach said he expected the boos. How can you boo me when I'm taking the knee fighting for Black Lives Matter? Come on.
Yes, on this I would support Gareth Southgate's stance. The stance for taking the knee is needed, though it's needed just more than a thing you just do normally. It goes deep down. And I think three of Romanian players also took the knee, though most of them did not. So I think it's something that Gareth Southgate should still continue. He shouldn't relent in
Mukhail,
the effort of taking the knee.
Racism, Black Lives Matter, it's now more in our face than ever before. That's the truth. These guys took the knee. 3 Romanian players took the knee with them. Every other person in the Romanian team stood up, and there were boos in the crowd. Why were they taking the knee? That's the question that we're asking.
Well, I think it takes me back to the Roman times when gladiators fought in the arena. it did not matter that these people were entertaining the crowd. The crowd don't care. They want to be entertained, and they don't care who
You have
entertains
to kill
them.
yourself if you like.
Yes. So it's the same thing now. They don't mind to have black people on their teams carrying the flags. At this point, they probably have accepted that it's something they cannot do without.
And they want to win.
And they want to win. But that doesn't mean that in the rest of society, they want black people to benefit from the spoils of equality. They don't want this equality, and the notion of an institution that represents the nation fighting and making clear that they are on the side of equality it gets under their skin.
Well, I guess for me, Wally, that is, racism and the Black Lives Matter revolution is more in our face than ever. If the fans in the stadium can boo a national team for taking the knee, even when 3 of their players took the knee with them, then it's more in our face than ever. Now, Kevin De Bruyne has had minor surgery on the eye socket he injured in the Champions League final and will join the Belgium national team squad on Monday to prepare for the Euro, that's today, 2020 tournament. Belgian coach Roberto Martinez told the news conference on Saturday. Now, there had been fears that the key midfielder, De Bruyne, could miss part of all of the finals, but Martinez says the surgery he required was only a small intervention. De Bruyne fractured his nose and a bone around his left eye socket in last Saturday's Champions League final, playing for Manchester City in their 1-0 defeat against Chelsea. The recovery of the 29-year-old will be a huge relief for Martinez as he attempts to steer Belgium, who are ranked the #1 team in the world, to a first European title.
Yesterday it was decided that Kevin De Bruyne needed a little bit of an intervention, and that was taking place today, and everything went really well, really positive. So we still looking forward to see Kevin De Bruyne to join us on Monday, on the 7th, and he will join the squad for the Euros.
Now, Sayo, I'm saying this and I'll say it again. Anywhere I'll say it. I think the Belgian national team are only #1 on FIFA rankings because they've got so many big names in their squad. They've not won anything significant in the last few years. They've got Torgan Hazard, Eden Hazard, Romelu Lukaku, Kevin De Bruyne. That's about it, the names they've got.
I really want to agree with you on this because judging from what you have said, there are no international trophies to stand with, and it's really surprising. Sometimes we ask questions about the credibility of this FIFA ranking itself. Why would a team like France, who has won the World Cup recently, why would a team like Portugal also, who are the defending champions of the Euros, would not be in the top 2 positions? So it's really surprising, really. And like you said, they boast an array of talents, the Kevin De Bruyne's, the Axel Witsel, Carrasco, the list is endless, not even forgetting the Hazard brothers. They have amazing talents. And don't forget also that Kevin De Bruyne just bagged in the PFA award. So possibly all this adds to the stock of the national team.
I think that's the word I've been looking for, Mukhail. Credibility of the FIFA rankings. What is Belgium doing on #1 in the FIFA rankings?
I think we can always question credibility of FIFA,
Rankings,
UEFA,
yes,
or any other institution that manages football. But what I want you all to remember is that if every football match was taken as though these teams were playing a League Cup, Belgium would be #1 because they drop the least amount of points. They don't lose often at all. They don't even draw often or at all. And they oftentimes score plenty of goals. And if you look at a league season in Premier League or anywhere else, the quality of any title-winning team is their ability to not only beat the small teams, but when they come up against the big guns, they actually thrive. Belgium can stand toe-to-toe with any of the big guns. Italy, France, Germany, Spain. they have the named players, but they've also dropped least amounts of points if you were taking this as a league run. So I don't know if entirely they do not deserve to be number one. Fine, France have won a competition in recent times. Portugal won the current Euro champions. But at the end of the day, consistency is really what matters. And if I was going to give ranking of number one, after all, the best clubs in the world are still Real Madrid, Barcelona.
Yeah. Despite their setbacks.
Yeah, despite their setbacks. But the consistency of how much they win, how much they compete at the top level is what matters.
Well, this Monday wasn't very good to me this morning, and it's getting only worse for me this morning, really. Now, Serena Williams waits for a record-equaling 24th Grand Slam singles title goes on after the American was beaten 6-3, 7-5 by an inspired Elena Rybakina in the French Open, fourth round on Sunday yesterday. From the moment the 21-year-old Rybakina, playing in only her 7th Grand Slam main draw, held the opening 2 service games without dropping a point, Williams looked in peril. With so many big names having fallen, including Victoria Azarenka, early in the day, she remained philosophical in defeat, however, saying that her expectations coming into the tournament had not been very high.
Yeah, I'm in a much better place than when I got here. I was just literally trying to win a match because it had been a really difficult season for me on the clay. And although I love the clay, I was just like, if I could just win a match. There's just literally a point here and a point there that could change the whole course of the match, and I'm not winning those points. And that is like literally could just change everything. I don't know. I wouldn't say the same about me, but everyone feels different. Maybe this particular week, but in general, I wouldn't say that.
That was very mature from Serena, really. Everyone, including herself, wanted her to win the 24th Grand Slam. It didn't happen. But she says, I wasn't expecting too much in this. That one is just Sakamaje, as they will say on the streets. But she wanted to win this.
Of course.
No doubt.
As a champion, she goes into every competition to win. If she didn't feel she could win, she wouldn't
be here.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, she has to temper expectations, not just for others, but for herself. After all, we've been talking about mental health in tennis recently. Yeah. And I think the fact that she's a champion, she's the greatest champion in women's tennis that we've ever known. She will obviously pick herself up. And every loss is an opportunity for you to learn. And to pick yourself up and keep going. As Rocky famously said, it's not about how hard you can get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Rocky Balboa, yeah. Now, former world number 1 Roger Federer, who is targeting a record 21st Grand Slam title at Wimbledon, withdrew from the French Open on Sunday yesterday, a day after winning a tough third-round match, opting to save himself for the grass court season. Federer, who was hardly played in the last 17 months because of a knee injury, suffered physically in his 4-set late-night victory over German Dominik Kiefer on Saturday, and decided to end this Roland Garros campaign ahead of what would have been a punishing 4th-round match against Italian Matteo Berrettini. Tournament director Guy Forget said the French Open is sorry to see Roger Federer withdraw from the tournament, but he put up a great fight last night.
For it to be in Rafa's or Novak's shoes right now, where they're like, I'm feeling good, If I'm playing well, I'm winning. So I don't have that feeling right now. So for me, it's these are all stepping stones, right, to something that is really important to me. It's the season and it's the comeback, and I need matches like these. We go through these matches, we analyze them highly and look on what's next, and we'll do the same tonight and tomorrow latest, because I need to decide if I keep on playing or not, or is it not too much risk at this moment to keep on pushing, or is this just the perfect way to just take a rest, because I don't have the week in between here and Halle. like normal, to see like what's best now if you count back from Wimbledon and so forth. So it's just a lot going on, you know, but having a match like this, knowing I could have probably played a fifth set, but not knowing how I will wake up tomorrow is interesting, to say the least. So yeah, it's definitely a different time right now for me.
Now, Sayo, Roger Federer is not your regular Rafael Nadal. He's not Superman on clay like Nadal is. And he says, I want to save myself for Wimbledon, which is grass court.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel he's not getting younger. He's actually trying to, retire on a high. And to do that, he must keep fit. He must stay off injuries. And that's why he pulled out. I think it's difficult to actually maintain the top. If you're on the top, difficult to maintain it. And that's why he's having issues lately. But he's waiting for Wimbledon. Maybe he can actually get another Grand Slam.
I want to thank you very much, Sayo, for joining us on the show this morning. Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure to have me.
Now, Russia's Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova battled hard to beat 15th seed Victoria Azarenka 5-7, 6-3, 6-2 and reached the French Open quarterfinals for the first time in 10 years. Pavlyuchenkova struck 45 winners and was helped by Azarenka, making 30 unforced errors. The two competitors exchanged a series of breaks. Now, Trae Young led the Atlanta Hawks to an upset win on the road at the Philadelphia 76ers in the opener of the Eastern Conference semi-final series. Young finished with 35 points as the Hawks limped over the line 128 to 124, having led by as many as 19 points late in the fourth quarter. Now, Joel Embiid returned from injury with 39 points, while Seth Curry was the Sixers' next best with 21. Game 2 takes place in Philadelphia on Tuesday.
By Trae Young.
And the question everybody's asking, Mukhail, is Atlanta Hawks, Bao.
They wanted it more.
Philadelphia 76ers, come on.
They wanted it more. The aggression was obvious there. I don't think they saw it coming. I don't think Philadelphia saw it coming. I think when they went to the bucket every time, they broke quickly, and they tried to look for the free man every time. And the buckets they made, so many 3 points on the night. So
I think the game plan was to work on the 3-pointers and try not to get into the arc,
yes, Yes, don't get bogged down. Don't let the opposition force you into the paint too often.
Exactly.
Yeah, so looking for the free man every single time made it so that they had space and they moved the ball quickly in order to get the ball into the hands of the person who could shoot.
This is my mischievous green, and I'll tell you why I'm greening mischievously this morning. Is this the end of some names we've heard all the time in the Grand Prix? I don't know. Now, Mexican Sergio Perez won a dramatic Azerbaijan Grand Prix for Red Bull on Sunday after a tire blowout denied championship leading teammate Max Verstappen certain victory, and Lewis Hamilton failed to score. The race was red flagged when Verstappen crashed 5 laps from the end. The Dutch driver clambering out of the wrecked car and kicking the rear left tire in fury with his hopes in tatters. Now, Baku's street circuit then provided another crazy twist at a standing restart where Mercedes' 7-time world champion Hamilton lined up second with 2 laps remaining and looked set to take back the overall lead.
We gave it all, I thought, I cannot miss this race 2 laps from the end. I broke as late as possible on the clean line, and then when I saw Lewis locking up, and he just went straight. So yeah, it's a big shame for him, because I've been in that position, and we are all, it just shows, how much on the limit we are and how vulnerable we are to mistakes, all of us, and yeah, today happened to him, and overall I'm just very pleased.
We expected more from the beginning of the year. Obviously, it's great to get such a strong result in, but I hope that this momentum now we gathered in the last 2 races helps us in the next couple to be a bit more aggressive and in the points to really be in the fight to score points more regularly.
Yeah, I saw the podium right in front of my eyes. I just gave everything I could, and in the end we made it possible. It was an intense battle, but exactly how I like racing. It was very hard but fair, and yeah, I'm really pleased for the guys to get this third podium together.
Checo pulled over to the left and I moved to the left and I hit a switch, unknowingly hit a switch, and it basically just switched off the rear brakes and only the fronts were working, so I just went straight. And you know, it's really painful, but I'm really sorry to the team for this day. You know, all I can do is just try and rebuild, but you know, I think I gave absolutely everything I could today.
Lewis Hamilton, quickly, Mukhail, bragging rights and everything. He hates to lose, and you can see that in his face right now. Is the bragging rights gradually getting over? Red Bull taking this one?
I don't think
in Azerbaijan.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I watched the race and it felt like a series of equipment failures.
Yeah.
And in a sport like this, when equipment failures are...
And when it comes to equipment, Mercedes never make these mistakes.
Yes.
Never.
When you play a sport like this and equipment failure is bound to happen, all you can do is swallow it and move on to the next race as quickly as possible.
Okay, thank you very much, Mukhail Tinubu. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sayo Oguntoye, for joining us via phone call. Frank, you made so much noise this morning for the show. Let's hope Chelsea can make it happen next season. My name is Wally Scott. Join us same time tomorrow, same station, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. And like I always advise you, at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.